It doesn't just happen. It doesn't matter what your background was. You have to work. You have to be patient. You have to be dedicated. You have to keep going even at times when you don't necessarily want to, or do the things you don't want to do in order to be successful later on.
Zenner, from overlooked recruit to NFL veteran, breaks down the mindset that turns grit into long-term performance on scaling up success.
Of course, mirrors my football career. It started off as a redshirt. I did not see the field for the entire first season. I'm just a dummy with a heartbeat, and that was the hardest 3-4 months of my entire life, and emerged from that. From there, I feel like I can handle anything and everything that this entrepreneurship and owning a business has to throw at me.
What's up, everybody? This is Ryan Van Orn back with another edition of the Scaling Up Success Podcast. Today is brought to you by Cynergists. Cynergists is your go-to scalable operations company. It helps you grow exponentially faster at a fraction of the cost. Go check out Cynergists.com. Also, while you're at it, please like, comment, and subscribe on our videos on the Spotify channel, Apple, and on YouTube. We're everywhere along the way. Today, I have a really good guest today of my friend Zach Zenner. How are you doing today, sir?
Doing well, Ryan. Doing well. How are you doing?
Man, I'm fabulous, dude. I'm excited to have this conversation, man, because you got a lot of cool stuff happening, and just our audience is going to be better because of it, man. So let's just jump into it, shall we?
Yeah, let's go.
Awesome. Well, first of all, like, you got such a cool backstory, man. You played a little football back in the day. You were able to work your way up from, like the FCS level, was South Dakota State, and then played in the NFL, right?
Yes. So went to South Dakota State, home of the Jackrabbits. And that was my only Division I scholarship offer. So I was a bit of a late bloomer from a production standpoint at the high school level.
Mm-hmm.
And mainly had Division II offers. Well, first of all, I had no offers after my junior year to play, and I was recruiting myself to schools. And then following my senior year of football, I had multiple Division II offers and a Division I walk-on spot and one scholarship offer to South Dakota State. So I took the scholarship offer, played there for 5 seasons, 4.5 years, got accepted to medical school, and then tried out for the Detroit Lions as an undrafted free agent, where I made the team, and I just kept making the team. Scratched and clawed for a 5-year career in the NFL.
That is super cool, man. And it shows like your resiliency, like not having those opportunities just handed to you, but like you're working every step of the way, and increasing your ability, increasing your production along the way. And I'm sure with what you've built out now, you've taken some of those lessons and brought it into what you're building, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So now, being done playing football, career was over. Hey, I know a lot about optimizing my body and mind for performance. I know a lot about football. I like coaching and mentoring others. Become a nutritionist and an NFL agent. So coaching people on the football side through the agency, and coaching people on the health and wellness side through my company's performance. And it's hard out here in the real world outside of the NFL. This is not easy it is not easy to grow businesses. It doesn't just happen. It doesn't matter what your background was. You have to work. You have to be patient. You have to be dedicated. You have to keep going even at times when you don't necessarily want to, or do the things you don't want to do in order to be successful later on down the road. And that, of course, mirrors my football career at South Dakota State. Started off as a redshirt. That was the days of the true redshirt years, where I did not see the field for the entire first season. I'm just a dummy with a heartbeat. And that was the hardest 3-4 months of my entire life, and emerged from that hardened steel. And from there, can feel like I can handle anything and everything that this entrepreneurship and owning a business has to throw at me. Doesn't mean it's easy every day, but I can handle it.
So tell me, now that you've kind of gotten into building your own businesses, you have several different platforms that you work on. Have they kind of evolved since you started them?
Absolutely, they've evolved. So there's a couple ways they've evolved. The Zion performance side, the scale up component to the title of the podcast, I have a lot more resources and investment things going on right now in terms of some ads. And I have a coach working underneath me now that does some of the coaching and handles some of the actual client fulfillment side of things. So that's a major change from when I started this about 4 years ago. On the agency side, we haven't grown, but the what we're doing has grown and changed because of the college football space and the college atmosphere and this revenue sharing model and how college players are getting six-figure deals pretty consistently in the Power Four conferences. Now our expertise, since it's now semi-pro, is needed at those in those Power Four conferences at the college level. So the clientele and who we're talking to has changed drastically over the last year, really, because year and a half, because of NIL, which is a misnomer, but we'll just call it NIL and rev sharing. Now there's a lot more people that need our help, and that we're talking to a lot of different people, talking to people in high school, talking to moms and dads. So that's certainly changed, and the ability to stay flexible and handle those has been really valuable.
Go into that a little bit more if you could, because I mean, you know, from basically being like representing professional athletes to college athletes, and what you kind of insinuate almost like it's like a semi-pro edition now. Like, are you
Yeah.
seeing this only in football, or are you representing people in other sports and other avenues inside of that?
So I've always been good at understanding what my lane is, and my lane is football. I know everything there is to know about football. I know what makes a good player. I know what makes a bad player. I know what people need to do to be successful on the football field. So within our agency, and my two partners, Chris Giddings and Jeremiah Searles. Chris Giddings played Division II football. He's been an agent for 28 years. Jeremiah Searles played in the NFL for 6 years, college at Nebraska. Those are my two business partners. And those guys I feel the same way. We know football, so we're going to stay in our lane. And we've certainly helped people that have fallen into our laps, relatives of our clients, siblings of our clients that play different sports. We've helped those people, but ultimately we're staying in our lane. I do the same thing as a nutritionist. I'm not going to make comments on medications or on what a doctor thinks. I'm just going to bring my perspective and how I'm seeing what's going on in a client's life.
I love that, man. So what are you most proud about on this journey? Because it's just fascinating because I mean, like I said, the resilience that you've shown your entire life along the way, I'm sure that goes into it, but I'm sure that there's more to it than that. Would you agree?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. What I'm most proud of, I think, along the way we were just decluttered the house. So my wife is one of those people where the connection between the clutter of the home and the clutter of her brain are very closely connected. I don't deal with that as strongly as her, but it affects everyone. So anyone listening, if you have a cluttered house, your brain is going to be more cluttered. That's been proven in studies. It affects my wife maybe more than others. So we spend time. She likes to do every year. This one ended up being 2 or 3 years, but we went through every room in the house, went through all the boxes and threw things away. I mean, I had two. I've got a Silverado, just an LT, bought it rookie year, regular pickup. I filled the bed of that thing twice and went to dumpsters. That's how much we got rid of from our house. Well, one of those boxes was a box of awards that I had received during my NFL career and during my athletic career. And I've gotten rid of quite a few of them because I'm not going to have them out and display them. That seems odd. But I am proud of Strength and Conditioning Athlete of the Year. I'm proud of that. I'm proud of team captain on both high school level and a college level. And ultimately, I'm just proud of what it takes to stay in the NFL and being part of the exclusive club of 200 running backs or so that are on active rosters year in and year out. And I was able to be a part of that club for 4.5 years because to be a running back in the NFL, to be a player in the NFL, you certainly have to have a certain level of innate athletic ability that's God given. But you also need to be disciplined in your nutrition, you need to be disciplined in how you take care of your body, you need to be disciplined socially or legally, and you need to be disciplined on the field. So those are the things I'm most proud of. And you see it year after year, talent that should be in the NFL can't stay in the NFL because one of those things, or injuries also.
So as you've been building out your business and made that transition from out of being a player, was there like a small win? Because like, man, when business, it's like playing sports. You get your tail kicked, a ton of times, and you got to keep going. Was there like a small win that like turned the fortune for you? You're like, yeah, I can do this.
From a business perspective,
Yeah,
I mean, it really the first year as a new agency. The first year I was a fully certified agent, we had a player drafted in the fourth. So that was not a small win. That was a huge win. That's
yeah,
massive. That just doesn't happen, especially with the scale of resources we have. Like Chris has been a one man band for a long time before Jeremiah and I joined him. We don't have the resources to go out and buy players like larger agencies do. We're doing it with relationships. We're doing it with a value proposition and finding good players early and developing and building that relationship so they select us when the time comes later on in their career when they're blowing up and playing really well and now all these other agents are in. We've been there early because of our football knowledge and the resources that we put together to help us identify that talent as well. So on the agency side, I mean, that was a massive win. I was like, oh yeah, let's go. Well, then, you think you're going to just then, well, if we're going to have a first rounder next year, well, that doesn't, it doesn't quite work that way. We did have a player the next year draft in the second round. But, the year after that, we had a player draft in the sixth round, right? So we had a draft pick every year. Hasn't necessarily just continued to go up. That's not how it works. That's not how business really works ever. But that was a massive, big victory. That's like, oh, yeah, we can do this. But more than that, it was just talking to players and saying, like, yeah, I know what I'm talking about. Talking to scouts and evaluating talent, saying, oh, I liked that kid and he made the team. That was those sort of little realizations throughout the way, those little evaluation kind of scouting wins were really important. From a Zion performance health coaching perspective, some small wins were early on. Started off, had a couple clients essentially fall in my lap right away and was able to get really good results with them. They were willing to trust me in my infancy stage of coaching. And when they got really good results, that then just continued to build the confidence, say, okay, I can help a lot of people with this.
that's fascinating, man. One thing that it kind of makes me think of is like there's like these trends that always happen, and like your expertise in business now is like, do you see like a trend that like some business owners may be ignoring in what you've seen along the way in the last couple of years?
Interesting question. Trends that others are ignoring. I don't have nothing's coming to mind right off the bat, but I think the biggest thing that I've encountered, it's tough to answer this because a lot of the times the people you attract as a coach of any kind are people that reflect your own journey. So
Yeah,
the people that work with me at Design Performance are interested in sustainable lifestyle change and fat loss, not necessarily weight loss, but fat loss. There's a big difference. And in
yeah,
a way that's sustainable and that fits into your life, not in some 75 hard style where you do this crazy intense thing for a month and a half, for 2 months, and then all of a sudden you're better. It's a slow and steady wins the weight race kind of approach. And I think something that other people in the health and fitness space are doing and they're missing the boat on is they're just trying to be clickbaity. It's
yeah.
very easy to do in the health and fitness space. Instead of being true to themselves and true to the principles of wellness, that, hey, this is a long journey. This is going to take you a long time. They're saying things like, join me, and you'll, lose 30 pounds in 30 days. It's like, well, I could teach you how to do that too, but that's not a way to be sustainably healthy. You're likely going to gain all that weight back, but it's clickbaity and it gets business. So I think as we continue down this digital age where a lot of people have things to sell on social media that we're seeing, a lot of people have affiliate links, that sort of thing. The people that are doing it the right way and the slow way are going to come out ahead. And the people that are doing more of the clickbaity, quick wins are eventually going to lose their business, get burned out.
I give the analogy of like there's two ways to build a fire. You can like pour gasoline on just some a pile of embers and pile of wood, and it'll burn out pretty quickly. But if you like you create like a hot bed of coals, it'll burn for hours and hours and hours. And like
Yeah.
what you're doing is building it the right way that way. So well said, man. Thank you for that. Appreciate the insight.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's rampant. And part of what I'm going to start doing a little bit more of is when I see those things, then doing that sort of reaction style
Yeah,
video and calling out some of the BS that's being thrown out, or just how I view things differently.
I love it, man. Hey, one of the things that we do on this podcast is we bring our leaders on to get to know them better, little personality quirks and stuff like that. You up for that? A little rapid
Yeah,
fire
let's go.
actions. All right.
Sure.
So, do you have like a favorite book that you're reading right now?
I just finished The Obstacle is the Way, and I loved it by Ryan Holiday.
Awesome. How about do you have like a favorite like productivity tool that's like your go-to thing that you're working throughout the day with?
Productivity tool. I don't really have, unless you count ChatGPT. I wouldn't say
There
I
you
have one.
go.
I just made a holiday survival guide on Canva, and
Nice.
if that counts.
Now I
But I
like
made a
using
holiday
product.
survival guide.
Yeah, yeah. ChatGPT, Canva. I like it, man. Very cool. Do you have like I know you travel a lot, but do you have a bucket list travel spot?
Really, I want to go places that I think my sons will enjoy and enjoy with me. Bucket list style. I don't have, I actually do. I just thought of it. Probably the Pacific Northwest. I'd
Nice.
like to go through some of those old forests, walk through the very tall Pacific Northwest forests and some of those parks, some of those state parks out there and climb some of those mountains. I think that'd be really neat.
Very cool, man. What was the first job that you ever had?
I was 17 and I worked for my girlfriend, now wife's uncle's construction company. I would go pick up odds and end supplies from that they were missing, right? Hey, we need one more piece of drywall. Well, I'd go pick it up and bring it to the job site.
Oh, you're the runner.
Yeah, just the runner. And then after that, I was an umpire in baseball. My first two summers, no, first summer, my whole first summer in Brookings, I umpired baseball.
Man, I'm sure you'd love those conversations of, hey, that ball was outside by 2 inches, wasn't it?
I was very good at handling any and all dissenting arguments and fans and all that stuff. I was very good at that. My first game, I made plenty of mistakes, but I typically would tell people that I made a mistake and correct it on the spot, or just had a general mistake of making my first strike zone too tight when I was put behind the plate. And never made that mistake again. You better be swinging when I'm back there because it's a big.
I love it, man. I love it. Hey, if you had a superpower like in the X-Men or Avengers, what's that one superpower you'd want?
One that I always thought about since I was a kid was the Teen Titans Beast Boy style superpower, where you can turn into any animal and then turn back into a human.
Nice.
So that's probably just a quick and easy answer. There's, if I thought more about it, I'm sure I could come up with a better one, but that's the quick and easy one.
A little shapeshifter action. I like it.
Yeah.
Are you an early bird or a night owl?
Neither. So I'm gonna go to bed around 11 p.m. and wake up around 7. That's probably or wake up around 6:30. So I'd say that's neither. I've actually shifted it now. I stay up later to hang out with my night owl wife, but I land right there in the middle.
Nice. Okay. If you had the opportunity to have a dinner with a historical figure, either living or deceased, who would it be?
Figure. I'm going to do a classic NFL tactic and not answer your question, but answer it in a way that with something that I have in my head. I would choose to have dinner with my grandparents when they were my age.
Nice. I like it, man. Very cool.
So they're not
Uh,
historical figures, but that's
hey,
who
it
I would,
works.
yeah, in fact.
It works, man. Got two more. Do you have a favorite cheat meal?
I don't really believe in cheat meals because I consistently approach protein. Protein is the main source or the main event or the main character of all my meals. And then because of what I do from a calorie perspective throughout the day, I typically can just eat until I'm full because I've learned to listen to my body and I exercise and I get good sleep and control my stress so I can hear my hunger hormones when I'm full. So I really just focus on protein and eat not whatever I want, but kind of in a way as well. So I don't really have a cheat meal. However, I have done the restrictive diets, and I had an epic cheat meal We had steak salad. I had gone 2 weeks without any significant source of carbohydrates. So I hadn't had no breads, no pastas, no potatoes, no sugar for 2 weeks. And we had steak salad, and I believe it was 2 pints of Cold Stone ice cream, cake batter with the Reese's peanut butter cup. That was probably the most epic cheat meal I've had.
Nice, very cool. Last one is, what's bumping on your workout playlist?
Silence. I know I'm a psycho for that one, but if I am turning music on, it's going to be Jesus. It's going to be Christian music. Be fired up. What my perspective is, what's going to get you more fired up than the creator of the universe caring about you and sending his son down to die for you? But most of the time, it's silence. And my wife thinks I'm nuts, but part of that is to turn it into more of a meditation and let my mind go instead of have the music and those
Awesome,
lyrics
man.
in my.
Dude, you crushed that rapid fire, man. Great job.
Thank you.
If got a couple questions, we're wrapping up here. If you could go back in time and give yourself, your younger version, one piece of advice, what would that be?
From a business perspective, meaning when I was done playing. So my last season was 2019, and I stayed in shape all of 2020. No one re-signed me. It was COVID. That didn't help. Also didn't help that I wasn't playing as well in 2019. In 2021, when I started on this journey of business, I would tell myself it's going to be harder and take longer than you thought.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
Awesome. Conversely, where do you see yourself like 5 years from here?
Whatever God's got planned to me, I know both things are growing. The agency's growing. I think see myself on the coaching side, having a couple coaches underneath me, doing a lot less of the one-on-one coaching and more of the one-to-many style coaching or coaching of the coaches within my program, and coaching my kids in their youth sports. Have the time and the freedom to be able to do that.
Awesome, man. Dude, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the Scaling Up Success podcast today, dude. This has been great. If people are interested in your services, how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so from the agency side, it's OneWest Sports Group. Also on the health coaching, performance coaching side, that's zion-performance.com. Also getting into just speaking of the one-to-many things, I'm getting into speaking to large groups, doing events. That's zachzenner.com. Ultimately, you can just reach out to me, though, on any social media platform. I'm typically quite responsive on those direct messages and love having conversations and meeting people and seeing how I can help.
Awesome, man. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure, dude. Love seeing what you got going on. Love seeing your growth, and best of luck with all of your future endeavors, my friend.
Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. Ryan Van Orn, signing off for the Scaling Up Success podcast, brought to you by Cynergists. Till the next time, make sure you go back and listen to some of our prior podcasts on Spotify and YouTube. Thank you so much for joining in, and take care and stay blessed, people. Take care.